Howdy friends, this is the Costco 7-foot animated werewolf from Halloween 2024. In this video, I'm going to show you how to assemble him. If you'd like to learn how to get him back in this box, I have a video for that. If you'd like to see a fair and honest review and a demo, I have a video for that. But for now, let me show you how to get this guy put together. So our first step is going to be creating this base. So we have A over on the right hand side and we have B over on the left hand side, and there are two C poles that are going to connect in the front and the back. So we have our A pole over on the right, the B pole is over on the left, and there is a C pole in the front and a C pole in the back. Alright, we're ready to slide these feet onto these these support poles, and so there is a right way and a wrong way, and that is determined by the small toe on each of the feet. So we're going to put those to where the small toe is facing the center here for both of these, and there is a pin sticking up here on the base to hold these feet in place so that they don't shift left and right. Okay, so I've already done the left leg here. It's quite a challenge, so I'm going to show you the same process over here on the right leg that you would do on the left leg, but it is a bit of a challenge. So you have to take your pole, your support pole for that leg, and you have to work that through down here into the leg mold itself. Then you need to lock the pins together onto the supporting pole, so we will do that. And then you have to slide this leg down, and it's going to lock down here into the foot. You really have to kind of get on the floor and kind of see how these pieces put together in order to lock them right. So yeah, it's a little bit challenging, and it really requires to get down here on the floor, but eventually you will get there. So I've not actually seen this guy in person, but just looking at the size of the feet in this costume, this guy is huge. A little bit overwhelmed right now. I did not realize how large he is, but I think I'm going to be extremely overwhelmed and surprised at how large he is. But our next step is putting the costume down over these legs, and this costume is kind of interesting. It's got a lot of foam built into it. It's all one piece. It's kind of big and clunky and heavy because of all of this foam. So it's kind of interesting trying to get these legs covered, just because it's a little difficult to work with. Maybe I shouldn't say difficult, but I just think you have to take your time and just kind of slowly bring this thing down so that I don't tear the material. But it is going down pretty nice, and I am pretty excited. I'm already liking the way this guy looks. So I don't know how far the pants legs need to go down, but once we get the body structure here, or the chest, and we start attaching it, that'll kind of help me know exactly how far these pants legs should have gone down and to readjust that position. So it's already time to put the torso onto these two leg poles. This torso is huge, and it's pretty dang heavy. So you might need a second-hand person to kind of help you get this on, because this thing is just crazy heavy. And I've already determined that I am trying to do it backwards, so it looks like the front plastic cavity is going to need to go to the front here, based off of the pins on these two poles. And it would be good to have a secondary set of hands to kind of do this, because again, it is heavy, but I'm strong, so I got it covered. Let's see, it is going in. Let's see, the left side is locked in pretty easily, and okay, so not bad. Again, this kind of shows you the height of this guy. I do notice that in the box, some of this chest here has kind of been caved in from the way that it was packed. Not a huge deal, but just pointing it out that there are a few flaws here just from the way it was packed in. It looks like that is not going to stay out. There's multiple motors going on here, so it's a lot of motion. I'm really excited to carry on. I have my step stool. Our next step is to take this costume and bring it over the shoulders. It would be absolutely impossible for me to do this without a stepladder, or a stool. This guy is huge. And let's see how we're going to get this over the back. So it looks like the whole thing velcros. Still kind of fun to try to bring this over and get it all right, but so far so good. Okay, so it's starting to make a little bit more sense to me how this is going to come together. And I can see that here on the arm sockets, you want to make sure that this top costume does not cover those up. But it looks like this red piece kind of needs to come down to where our arms are going to go through the sleeves off of that red piece, and then they're going to lock up here into the top base. I have not secured the back of the velcros yet. I want to leave that open. There's still wires to attach and the power source. So here is just a quick view of the back so you can see how this thing all velcros together all the way down, left and right, the two pieces of velcro. But right now we are going to leave this open in order to get to all of our wires here and to our power supply in our power box. And speaking of that power box, one thing that is pretty neat is they gave me a try me button, and I think that's really cool. I've never purchased an animated prop that actually comes with a try me button, but this guy does, and I think that's a really nice option. So these arms are huge. We're ready to put those on. I'm definitely going to be needing the step stool for this. They are marked with letters, but I think it's kind of self-explanatory by looking at the thumbs that this would be his left, this would be his right. So the arms are going to be attaching just using some hooks. So right here you can see there are just hooks built into these arms, and there are sockets here in the upper structure that they're going to hook into. And actually I'm probably not going to need the step stool for this piece, but it is going to be a little bit of fun trying to get the arm through this sleeve and still hit that hook. But I think that's a really good reason why to leave the back unvelcroed. So let's see how difficult this is going to be. Slide this guy into here, and we're going to cross our fingers that I can find the hook. Let's see. So getting this arm into the socket here has proven to be more of a challenge than I would have liked it to have been. So I did get that left arm on, and I feel like I should do a little hallelujah or a little rejoice or something, because it ain't easy, folks. There's quite a challenge here, and I'm not quite sure that I still have it just perfect, but we're going to find out when I try to put this right arm on, which is our next step. And so I need to make sure that I have this costume all lined up correctly here before I even try that. And I think the challenge here is there's two layers of clothing. So you have the underlaying chest foam piece, and then you have this red shirt that's covering up the foam. So you have to slide the arm through the red shirt, through the foam, and then get it onto the hooks. Well, I finally got that right arm in, and I am not going to lie to you. I am sweating, and I think I deserve a drink. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, so I'll just stick to water. But that right arm, it's a beast to get on. Okay, so as I went through and went to adjust his clothes, I realized those hands, or I should say those arms, they're really not as difficult as I made them out to be. So here's a pro tip for you. As I was attaching these arms, I was concerned about this foam costume, the underlying foam costume, actually coming over the joint here in the arm. Well, that's not how it works. So that was my problem. I was trying to keep the foam piece over the arm where it connects up here, and that's what made it really difficult. So you want that foam to actually be off the arm, so it actually goes way off of the arm. The only thing that's covering the arm joint here is going to be this outer costume, this red shirt. If you do it that way, it's a lot easier to get that arm on. You'll save yourself a lot of trouble and a lot of time trying to get these arms on. Okay, so our next step is going to be connecting this neck piece over to the head piece. So the head has a rod coming out of it here at the back, and this is our neck piece, and it looks like they were just going to slide onto each other. And I have to say, This head is really big. Again, I have not seen this thing in person. This head is big and it's awesome. It looks really, really good. So I'm really happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and connect those two pieces together, bring this material over, and it is time to give this guy a head. Wow, I am really quite happy with this head and all the fur coming down the neck piece. This is starting to look really promising. Now we're ready to go ahead and put this head onto the neck. Coming out of that piece that we just attached, there is a pole here to slide onto a pole that is up here coming out of the shoulder here. And there is also a wire to control this head, and they do say that you want to make sure that you drop this wire down so that you can get into the back and connect that. This is just a push pin snap assembly, so let's see what happens here. Fingers crossed, please go in. And pretty easy, yeah. So we just want to make sure that we do have that wire fed down through the body cavity here so that we can connect that up when it's time. This guy is looking pretty damn awesome. Okay, so now we need to give this guy a tail. This tail is it's pretty dang long. It just has the two hooks here that are gonna go back into receptors in the back of the body. So let's see how that goes. So this is going to be very nice and easy, not doing all the Velcro here in the back. It's pretty straightforward. There's just a piece of metal here that these two hooks are going to slide into. So a nice easy step, which I do appreciate at this point. And this tail is just something else. Now at this point, they're telling you to go ahead and secure this guy down into the ground. He does come with many stakes in order to do that. These stakes are probably about 10 inches, I'm gonna guess, maybe a foot. But I use something more secure than this. So I like to use rebar, like use a piece of 2 feet of rebar so that you can really get it down into the ground. It tends to get windy here, and if we get rain, the ground can get really soggy. So you know, if you have really good soil that'll hold these, more power to you. But in order to keep this guy from falling down whenever it starts to get windy outside or rainy, I would suggest at least using a couple pieces of rebar down on the frame angles or down on the frame two ends, and just tap them down at an angle just to kind of give this extra support, and then go ahead and use these as well. Okay, so now it's time for his wiring, and I don't really know what to expect here, but the back is very easy to get to. So looking at the control box, let's see what we have. We have wires coming off that need to be attached. There should at least be one for the head. So I've got a wire coming out of the head, and okay, that's it. The rest of this is actually already connected. So we will go ahead and connect this wire for the head. So there are other wires that are coming off of the control box here, but these were already attached. So really the only one that I had to do was one that was coming out of the head, and that connecting wire is just wrapped around a bar here. They do just pop into each other, but then there's also a twisting mechanism because this guy is rated for being outdoors. And so not only is that connector the twist type, so is your power cord. This power cord is made a lot better than most of the props that I have seen, and it's waterproof. So when you connect that to each other, there is also a cap here that's going to twist, and that's going to go ahead and put a waterproof seal onto that, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same way here, and it is. So when that power cord goes onto the power box here, it's the same thing. So once you do slide that in, you want to take that twist cap and make sure that you put that on really secure, because that's going to keep the water out of the electric connections here. So let's take a look at the back view here before we go ahead and close it up. There's our control box. It is a on and off, a volume, of course the power supply, and there is a try me button or a try me jack on there. There is no sensor on this thing. It looks like it is either on or it is off, which I'm a huge fan of. And this is what it looks like, and it is time to go ahead and put his clothes in order. So we would just go ahead and Velcro this guy all the way from the top to the bottom. Nothing difficult here to do. It's just simply closing up all of these Velcro pieces. Bring in that red shirt back around. Let's flip this guy around so you can see the front view of him. So that completes the assembly of the Costco 2024 7-foot animated werewolf. The guy is pretty awesome. Don't forget that if you are trying to get those arms on, make sure that that foam is not around the arms when you put that into the socket. That will save you a lot of time and a lot of sweat and tears. So really it wasn't that bad once I corrected that step. I hope this video helps you put yours together. And don't forget, I have a reboxing video, so when it's time to put it in the box, come back, because that's going to be a challenge. And until next time, stay spooky, my friends.